And there we go. We are live. Concrete Contractors, welcome to another episode of your Concrete Success Podcast, where we're going to talk about how to come up with concrete business name ideas. So, whether you are in the startup phase and you know you want to branch out, you are putting things together, and you want to figure out what to name your concrete company, or if you've been in business for a while and looking for a rebrand, this video is going to help you out. And if you are listening to us via podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any of those channels, go ahead and subscribe to our channel because we're going to be dropping in some more information about how to market your business, how to position your concrete services online, how to be able to get the better type of projects that you love to be working on a consistent basis online. Again, my name is Danny Barrera, founder of Concrete Marketing Crew. And if you don't know who we are, we help concrete contractors double their concrete leads and get more of the type of projects that they love to be working on by generating more leads online. So if you ever wanted to get a new website for your concrete business, wanted to get found online for your concrete services in your service area, go ahead and visit concretemarketingcrew.com to find out more information, and make sure that you download our free checklist, our free guide on how to market your concrete company. It tells you exactly all the different things that we do to help you succeed online. And you can check that out for yourself, download it, go through it yourself. And if you want to do it yourself, that checklist is going to be a great foundation for your marketing efforts. So anyways, let's go into today's conversation, which is about concrete business name ideas and how to come up with it. So here's one of the biggest problems that we've noticed online. And when we were putting together this specific episode, we figured out like one of the problems is that there is too much conflicting information online. And look, this is the reality, guys. If you are a small guy, and I'm going to talk about a small guy as in you're just starting out, you're just getting started, branding yourself the way a Fortune 500 company or well-funded company would brand themselves versus someone that is local and wants to service a 50-mile radius would brand themselves, is completely different. It's a completely different mindset. The consumer, there's a different approach to market entry. There is a way different way to approach the situation. So again, if you're not well funded and you're just getting started, wouldn't it be better to really figure out what works that will work for you now and later, that can grow with you? Or do you want to know the hard way of doing things? Well, here's what we realized. Like, we were actually going online into Google, and we stumbled through a lot of articles, and they put together a whole bunch of names. And most of the articles that came up when we went to Google, like quite literally, I went onto Google and looked for concrete business name ideas, and what came up is a couple of ads, and then it's just names, just a whole bunch of names in there that were completely irrelevant. Like we work with concrete contractors nationwide. We work with some franchisees and some individuals that already carry a name by a bigger brand, and other guys that are just, they're pretty much on their own. They brand themselves and they built a brand for their services in their service area. And when I look at these names, guys, I mean, these were just other company names that really weren't really relevant, like, cement shop names, concrete company names. And you look at some of these names, Bussy, Unisem, USA, for example. I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Miller and Long Co. Absolutely nothing to do with concrete. Check this out. Tallest concrete structure. I get it. Look, if that's your business name, completely respect it. But when it comes to like really picking your name and choosing, having a method or a way to come up with a name that will stick, that will actually make a dent in the marketplace, you do have to spend a little bit of time. There is an actual process to actually come up with a name that will be a name that potentially can become a household name and can grow with you and grow right along as well as your revenue. So there's a whole bunch of names that were provided here across ACOS, Concrete Co., Agron Network, A-Goals. I mean, there's a whole bunch of names that I can tell you guys. Like right now, if you're just starting out, getting started, or you're rebranding right now, like you really have to pay attention to some of the stuff that you're reading online. Really, so if you're looking for concrete business name ideas, I've made it my mission to actually really go a little bit deeper and not just give you some fluff, not just rehash information that's out there, but from proven models. My background is in technology, but also in direct response marketing, which direct response marketing means we want to make our marketing respond. We want our consumers to respond to our marketing efforts, and we want our advertising efforts to have an impact and have a response. Because here's the thing, most advertising out there that you know, from Madison Avenue, most of the good old branding and advertising methodologies do not work well for the local smaller guy. So this right here, the information that we're going to be sharing with you today, hopefully is able to help you guys out. So let's get right to it, guys. So again, the big problem that we found is too much conflicting information online, actually information that did not apply. I went and watched some of the YouTube videos online, in all due respect to whoever came up with those videos. And, you know, you have certain softwares that actually are name generators, and I actually found one that's pretty okay actually, but the majority of the information that I found, really, it was just a lot of conflicting information out there. So just know that the information you're getting is not only coming from experience and in my background here personally, but we actually looked into this topic to provide that for you. So what is the possibility? What is the possibility of you coming up with the right business name idea, coming up with the right brand name for your concrete company? So here it is. Find a concrete business name that is meaningful to you and your consumers and becomes a reputable household name in your market. That is the possibility. When you look at this thing a year from now, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, when you look at the end of your career with your business, where do you see yourself in 5 years, in 10 years? Where do you want that name to be? What do you want to be known for? So that is the possibility, is finding the right business name that is meaningful to you as well as your consumers, your customers, and becomes a reputable household name in your marketplace. And look, that's the bottom line at the end of the day, right? You want to be productive, not destructive. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the solution, like how to actually come up with the right business name ideas for your concrete company. So here it is. You want to definitely make a list. Like, you know, this is one thing, the one tip that I found out online out there for coming up with concrete business name ideas is come up with a whole bunch of options. And, you know, that is where it starts. But I want to go a level deeper here. And also what I like to ask our clients is, hey, what do you stand for? What is the one thing that you stand for? What is, you know, and everyone is always, well, great work, reputation, customer service, right? I get it. Like all those things, go ahead and write them down and just start compiling a list. And my challenge to you is to come up with at least 30 of those responses. Like, go ahead and just let your brain go out, and you're going to see by the time that you get to 17, 18, you're going to start to run out of what you stand for. The other thing is, what do you want to be known for? Like, yes, you want to stand for something, but what do you want to be known for? Is it quality? Is it craftsmanship? Is it the skill set? Is it that it's durable, right? Our product, or our finished product is durable. Like our, you know, if you do decorative concrete, like this applies to you. If you do concrete coatings, epoxy flooring, this applies to you. If you do epoxy, or if you do polyaspartic, right, versus epoxy. You know, I mean, you see some of the brands use 4 times stronger than epoxy, right? You see some of those slogans out there, which comes as a byproduct of using a brand name. Like, you tie that slogan into your name. But right now, what we're doing is we just want to come up with all these ideas. Number one is get a list of what do you want to stand for. And the second one is, what do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known as the most reputable concrete contractor? right? And you set that intention, because what that is going to do is that is going to open you up to come up with all these ideas for your concrete business name. And then you want to go out into the marketplace and do a little bit of research as well. Like, start asking questions. Say, I'm writing this down, and I've narrowed down my list. Like, which one of these names actually stands out to you? And just go ahead and print out a couple of papers, so write it out. And you could, what I do recommend is using not your family members, but using a potential client, someone that you would consider to be your ideal client. Say, hey, I'm coming up with a couple of names, business names, and this is what I've come across. Can you just write off the top of your head, tell me which three names, which three words, not names, which three words right here in this whole list capture your attention? And that's what I like to do. This is a little bit of market research, a little bit of intention coming together per se, and you really don't hear this being explained at this level by all these so-called branding gurus out there. What they tell you is all these fancy words, but when it comes to execution, there's nothing behind it. Like, okay, you got to hire us to go ahead and do this, right? No, I'm not telling you to do that, guys. I'm actually giving you what you must go ahead and do at the small level when you're starting out or where you're rebranding. Now, if you have a customer base and you're thinking about rebranding, I would go to my best customers and actually present them your entire list and say, hey, for an exchange of you giving us your feedback here, we'll give you a $20 gift card. And go ahead and select the top 10 clients that you've had over the years and send them that survey. Send them an online survey so it makes it easy for you. There's Jotform, there's Typeform, there's a whole bunch of surveys that you can use out there. And go ahead and create that one survey. There's Google Forms, it's absolutely free. Go ahead and create that survey, send it to them, give them a gift card, send it over to them, and you're gonna see you're gonna get the responses from your marketplace directly, right? So now we have some sentiment. So now we have some real intention behind the brand name. And as you start writing down, something that I like to like I said before, ask is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, what, and as you start really connecting with your potential business name or your brand name, you really not just want to come up with a name that's going to stick, but you want to have some meaning. You want to start already crafting that vision and write it down, whether that vision is a paragraph. Like, you want to impact, X amount of, you want to transform X amount of driveways, or you want to turn ugly concrete into beautiful spaces, and you want to do that by facilitating an XYZ, a great customer experience, right? So that could be something that you are already intentionally wanting to connect, and you just go ahead and start writing down what you in your company, you envision your company to be, and to be just already running by. So now that you already have those intentions out, and you've nailed down, you've come up with your top 5, top 10 names, what you want to do next is you want to see if it passes the consumer criteria. And this is something that I take very seriously, that our team also has also talked to me about when dealing with different clients. And this is what happens when you deal with hundreds of contractors, is you realize what works and what doesn't. So this is a criteria that, like I said, it's I would pay a lot of attention here, that would actually be very helpful to you if you're just getting your name picked right now. So the first thing, is it easy to remember? First question is, we've noticed that a lot of times, and like I said, is our team is listening to calls or looking at the leads that are coming in. We run Facebook ads, Google ads. We position contractors online via Google search optimization. But a lot of times, like, some of these names, guys, are hard to remember or hard to spell. Like, this is one of the biggest pitfalls. Now, I get it. Sometimes last names are chosen or are used, and then, they're the byline or or tagline of that product or that specific contract or service, might be their craftsmanship or the reputation, etc. Right? We've been in business for 80 years. Well, that doesn't work as well as it used to before, but it does have, definitely has, some backing to it. So, pass the consumer criteria. Number one, is it easy to remember? That's the one thing. So the words that you're using, are they easy to remember? Number two is it easy to pronounce? So when they see the brand name, when they actually see that specific brand name, is it easy to pronounce? Number three is it easy to spell? So is it easy to spell? So if you're using a last name, for example, and that comes to your mind, and that's what you want to call your company, and that's what people call you all these years, well, you go ahead and use your last name. Again, if you built a brand and a reputation based on your last name, that is all good, my friends. But the point is, how hard is your name to spell? So put that into consideration, because it does have an impact on branded searches. And last but not least in this criteria, is that name owned by a competitor? Now, let me explain something to you. So say that I like BlackRock Concrete Services, right? And that would be the name, BlackRock. Let's just call it that, BlackRock Concrete Services. But there is also a BlackRock Construction Services in my service area. Well, if I know that there is a competitor with that name, and actually they're not a real competitor, they're just a construction company that do a little bit of everything, versus me being a just decorative concrete contractor and that's all I do. Well, there is the possibility for consumers to actually get both names mixed up, or when they go to Google. Like sometimes you go to Google, guys. Let me just go ahead and make a search right now. Just go to Google, and I'm just going to start typing this Google right now, and then I already BlackRock. You see that right there. As soon as I start spelling the name BlackRock concrete or construction comes up right away, right? Concrete, and you can see right there, BlackRock industrial epoxy and concrete flooring. You can see that we see by the auto suggest by Google, we can see if there's already an existing brand name with that specific name. So again, just go to Google and start typing these names, and then you want to search it. Like there's a lot of times that someone else in a different state owns that name, and it's completely fine by you. So just make sure that a competitor does not own that name. So now that you've passed that consumer criteria, what I do recommend is having a partial name or partial keyword in the name. So if you are a concrete contractor, let me take you back to one of these articles. Actually, the first article, that's right here. 449 good concrete company name ideas ever. Like, okay guys, and this is a branding website. Let me go ahead and and read some of this. Spec USA. You have no idea, guys. Like I have no idea what this is all about. I would not know what these guys are about. Like if I'm a consumer, I'm looking for a concrete contractor. I'm looking for someone that does actually stamped concrete. Spec USA has nothing to do with stamped concrete or concrete patios or driveways. Now this one would actually be much better. It's Divine Concrete Creations, right? Divine Concrete Creations, right? Now check this one out. Ready for USA. Okay, got it. So maybe this names right here are by manufacturers, like this one, National Cement. Okay, got it. So those names might be owned by companies, like I said before, that have a lot more budget to make themselves a name in the grand scheme. When you look at the bigger picture, they have more backing. They can actually advertise to the masses and build a brand name right that way. Versus when you're starting out and your budget is limited for advertising or marketing, you want to think about those things where if you do have a partial match of the keyword of the service or the category of what you offer, it will make it easier for you to rank. Now I'll show you some examples right here. Let's look at this one. Tarmac America. Okay, got it. Another example is like Cemex, right? USA, Argos, right? You know those names. So let's look at for concrete contractors. Like I'm looking for some ideas right here. Rayberg Concrete Company. Okay, it's got Concrete Company in there. Promex Concrete Company. Got it. Look, this one is hard to, and this is one of those things where people say, well, you got to pick a name that's memorable, but at the same token, if they haven't seen your name and they have never been in touch with your brand and they're just coming across your company online, how hard is your name to remember? Right? You got to ask yourself that question. Let's look at some of these other names. Gripbot, right? So okay, I'm not sure. Like I said, guys, some of these articles here, my team was putting together this actual brief here for me to go through with you guys, and they were telling me like, man, everything that we see out there is actually a joke. Whoever put these articles together, they actually evidently don't have any idea how consumers interact with decorative concrete contractors or concrete contractors and concrete companies. And if you're a manufacturer, if you manufacture products, if you are a seller of products for concrete contractors, that's a different case and point. But this video and this conversation is how to come up with concrete business name ideas, right? So hopefully, we're sparking some interest here. So again, some of the things that you can do, I'm going to share with you one of my favorite tools. One of the ones that I recommend is Shopify has a business name generator, and all you have to do is go to Google and type Shopify business name generator, and you go ahead and when this opens up, just enter right here where it says enter query. Say that you do decorative concrete. I want to type in decorative concrete, right? And I want to generate names. And I'm not going to tell you that all of the names here are amazing. No, some of these names don't make sense whatsoever. But some of these names actually do make sense. So let me just read some of this to you. Some of the ones that would not make sense is decorative concrete tax. Like, who wants to use the word tax in there? How about matter decorative concrete? Okay, got it. I would not use lost decorative concrete. Now, I would use frontline decorative concrete. Like frontline decorative concrete, okay. Or what about this one? Epic decorative concrete, right? How about, let's see here. Now, this is a good one. Like if you're based out of a specific location, you don't want to tie yourself into a specific location per se. Like for example, if you're in Miami, I wouldn't create Miami decorative concrete. But this one is an interesting one because South Beach is an interesting one. Like that's okay. I know South Beach is in Miami, but again, I could brand that outside of Miami, right? If I have clients all the way up north in Boca Raton, which is about close to an hour away, 45 minutes to an hour away from Miami, I can definitely go ahead and get clients out there and still be called South Beach, Miami. Now, if I'm called Miami Decorative Concrete and I'm trying to get clients all the way in Boca Raton or Palm Beach, it wouldn't make as much sense there, right? What about this one? Rhino Decorative Concrete. Boom, that's a big one. Blue Star Decorative Concrete. I mean, you guys can go ahead and play with this tool. Let me go ahead and put another one. Concrete. Say that you want to, the main thing that you want to do is get more concrete driveways. So just type in concrete driveways. Okay. And you're going to get a lot of ideas here. Top notch concrete driveways. Right? And top notch, you can see it right here. Top notch concrete driveways. Let me see. Marathon concrete driveways. I mean, New Star concrete driveways, runway concrete driveways, new wave concrete driveways. I mean, you get a lot of great ideas out of this. And again, look guys, like you might be able to just go back to your initial list and go back and then study that list that you came up with originally and see if anything that's here, any of the words actually come up here and go there. And then the last but not least, the last tip that I want to give you guys is go to google.com and go ahead and search in your service area. So I'm gonna just go ahead and type in concrete contractor, and I'm going to type in Miami right here, or concrete contractors Miami, right? Concrete contractors Miami, plural. And what I want to do is I just want to see what comes up on Google search. And on the maps here, we have an ad that's called Affordable Sidewalk Solutions. See it right here. Affordable Sidewalk Solutions, Driveways by Design. Check that out, Driveways by Design, right? So it's got the design in there, it's got driveways. Stamp Concrete Miami, I know that these guys are not a real company, they're a lead generation company, or someone like, this is what I was talking about. Stamp Concrete Miami, guys, don't, if you want to tie yourself into a specific city and that's all you want to do, well, good luck. If you want to go long term, you want to build a brand, an actual brand, that's what you really want to focus is in the long-term vision. So JP Concrete Pumping, well, those are pumping guys. And then we have, we actually don't have that many other guys. So let's go ahead and look at some of the other ones coming up here on the maps instead of lead generation companies. Big opportunity here in Miami. Okay, so we have Florida Demolition and Concrete Works. Okay, got it, right? Cricket Pavers of Miami. Got it. Juniors Concrete Works. Got it. It's got the word concrete in there. And again, juniors, right? They're juniors. They're probably son or father. Concrete Masters USA. Okay, got it. Sounds great. Now, this one doesn't make sense here. Wisi and Grigo Corporation. Does not make sense. Does not make sense how that is tied in. I'm just going to tell you guys why, because it's just hard to remember this type of name. It's just very hard to remember. And even the spelling, I mean, if someone is writing, you check, do they need to spell it the right way? How do you spell your name? I mean, you create a lot of chaos right there. What about this one? ACR Concrete Services. Interesting name. I'll probably not use abbreviations. I would stay away from that. And then we have a franchise here, Concrete Craft of Miami Beach. Got it. Perfect Concrete Floors. Okay, I can take that right here. That's not bad. What about this one? Snap Industries. Snap Industries. Got it, guys. But I would not use that name. It doesn't have any partial match service. Now, so Snap Concrete, Snap Industrial Concrete. Right, that could probably be a name, but not Snap Industries. What about this one? Artistic Concrete Group. I can take that one. It's got the keyword in there. Artistic Concrete of South Florida. Okay, so someone chose. You guys see that one right there? Again, competitors using a very similar name, and that is a problem because it's very closely related. So Artistic Concrete Group, and then you have Artistic Concrete of South Florida. It's very closely related, guys, and you definitely don't want to create a name that's similar to competitors. I would stay away from it. Top Mix Concrete Company. You can see 2.5 stars. Vasquez Concrete Finish. Okay, I'll take it, but still a little bit hard to spell if you ask me. Champion Concrete. Okay, Champion Concrete Services or Champion Concrete Company. Got it. MIA Concrete Contractors. I don't know if that's a real company. Artistic Stamp Concrete. Again, there is a name that's similar to another one of the names that we found. So anyways, guys, we've come to pretty much the end of this conversation here. And what we discussed today is coming up with concrete business name ideas. And, the problem that we talked about is there's a lot of confusion out there, just too much conflicting information online that isn't even applicable to the guy that's just rebranding or starting out. And by now, if you go through this process right here and you've listened to this specific podcast or video here on YouTube and you enjoyed it, go ahead and make sure that you give us a thumbs up, that you share this online. It would mean the world to us. But subscribe to the channel because we've got a lot of great content. We're investing a lot of money and resources into putting this type of content together for you. Let us know how we're doing. So go ahead and give us a review. It helps the algorithm. Just let them know how we're doing there. So go ahead and leave us your feedback. whether you're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, or right here on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe today, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Danny Barrera, Concrete Marketing Crew, over and out. Take care.